Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown for the week of September the 4th. My name is Trey. This time I have a hat, and we have a changed position camera to hopefully help with the glare. So if you guys see me looking to the left, I'm double checking the glare, but my notes are right here with the camera, so here we go. Dr. Stone 25. Awesome color page to start us off. Really, really solid. We have the really fun interactions of, like, Kinro with his spear gone. He's super upset. Kahaku not understanding how magnets work, because of course she doesn't. There's this strange force stopping her, and Senku at first was shocked, and he's like, oh yeah, it's just magnets. You have Kinshiro and from Fist of the North Star and Kurita from Ice Shield 21 pushing this man-powered dynamo in Senku's dream, like, vision thing there. It's really cool. It's a nice touch. Kurita's even in his, like, gear for football, so that was really nice. They're using corundum to grind out a copper disc, which is really cool, because I've got to play around with some corundum before, and that stuff's tough. To make their dynamo. And, of course, again, Sweet Talks Kinro. Kinro, they're able to, even for just a second, light that bamboo fuse and get a filament. And Senku looks so happy. Chrome has this moment where he's trying to, like, realize that this is what it must have felt like for the people before, and he just slaps himself to wake himself up. So good. I can't help but feel, though, that Tsukasa absolutely saw that. Because how could he not? And it's really crazy that they're able to get this far. Anybody else other than Senku probably would have given up. But here he is, still going. Can't give up yet. Great chapter. Great chapter. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. One Piece 877. Before we get into the chapter itself, the cover story with Sai and Baby 5, where Sai is trying to talk to his old fiancé about his new fiancé and how that all is going to work out. I love it. I'm so excited to see where the rest of this cover story goes. Perospero. Oh boy, he's so much stronger than I thought he was. I have come full 180 around on him. You guys remember when I was like, I don't really like his design. The tongue hanging out, that could be okay, but he's a little creepy. I love him now. He's great. Single-handedly taking down Chopper and Brook. He's got the Sunny right where he wants it, encased in candy on the bottom so it can't escape. You have the great moments of the Red Hawk on the Candy Maiden. You have Katakuri fighting Luffy in what is a really solid fight that I'm afraid we're not going to get to see too much of. Pedro sending Carrot to go help get the ship ready. Then, of course, Pedro versus Perospero. I love character death. You guys know this about me. I absolutely love character death. Pedro fighting Perospero. Knowing there's no way he can win in a straight-up fight. Perospero even, like, taunting him about how high his bounty is. And then for Pedro to just open the coat. And there's the bombs he was going to blow up the mirror with. He just takes out a cigarette and lights them. This is so long. I love character death, and this one hurt. But I absolutely hope that he stays dead, because it's such a good send-off for him. For a guy who already knew he was going to die, who reveals that he has this hope that the Straw Hats are the ones, that he believes that they're the ones that they've been waiting on, that Zoe and the family from Wano have been waiting on all this time. And then he blows himself up to knock the Sunny free from the candy. Hopefully also freeing Chopper and Brook. It looks like he was pretty sure it was going to. And it should, because if Perospero's not dead, he's badly hurt. Even if he was able to get the candy up in time, that's a much bigger explosion than I thought it was going to be. Man, I'm going to miss Pedro. I really hope Pedro would stick around, but man, that's hats off. Hats off for Pedro. Man was a real hero there. And now, of course, Carrot has the thing she needed to qualify as a Straw Hat. She has the tragic backstory. In that, it seemed like she and Pedro got along really well. They've probably been friends for a long time. And he just died in front of her to save these people. She's got her wish now to fulfill Pedro's wish to see them succeed. And to be able to fulfill that dream. And I feel like Carrot's a really good character. I wouldn't be a problem at all. I wouldn't have a problem at all, that is, with her joining the crew. Pedro has kind of made that clear that it's a possibility now. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to have her around. And if it does happen, it'd be really cool that this is the first time that we get to see a character, like, see their tragic backstory in real time and not in a flashback. So that'd be really cool. Yeah. Good, great chapter. Love Pedro's sacrifice. It's so good. And everything leading up to that with the Red Hawk and Jinbei being shot because he didn't know Luffy could do that. The tribute that is to Ace every time that Luffy does it. Great chapter. Seraph at the end, 61. So, I wasn't super sold on Kyluck before this chapter. Oh man, Kyluck is great. He even gives himself a pep talk halfway through this fight, saying, and I quote, No, what am I saying? I am the Kyluck. Of course I can kill it. So this is a really interesting fight with you using his tongue to try and, like, snake out and wrap around to try and hold Kyluck solid so that Gurren can get him with Michiru no Yo. Mishiru no Yo? I wrote it down and I didn't. I wrote Mihiru no Yo. Maybe it was Mihiru no Yo? Can't talk today either. Come on, guy. Come on, me. Anyway, he almost kills Gurren. Yu takes the hit right through the chest and begins to regenerate. And this is when Kyluck is like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. And he's like, no. I just love that he gives himself a pep talk halfway through this fight. I was already sold on this chapter halfway through because of that pep talk. But then, Farid Bathory rejoins the fight with just his upper torso, like, with a sword shoved in the ground to be able to hold his upper torso up. Blood and all kinds of goop just falling to the ground as he's just talking. He's just like, hey, I'm here now. I'm here to fight. How's it going? Gonna have a tough time taking us all down. And so then Kyluck is like, yeah, I am. You're right. And so he grabs the queen and leaves. And Farid calls his bottom half over and then stands proudly about how his naked body has come back together. And, gets his head cut off. And then somebody's like, you could dodge that. And he's like, where's the fun in that? Farid's great. I love that he's just given in to his quirky side now and not even trying to play all these, like, very obvious games. Because he's got a bigger target in mind. And for him, that's a fight against the god of this world. Final panel is beautiful, by the way. Shot of reformed Farid having his clothes back on and, like, finishing it up while saying that his target is the god of this world. Like, that's really solid. This is another really good chapter. Of course, it comes with a slight little thing in that there won't be a Seraph at the End chapter next month. That's revealed in the author notes at the end. So, next month we're just going to do without. Maybe we'll get something else in its place. I don't know. Jump normally tries to bring in something when something can't make it, as we'll see at the end of this issue of Jump today. So, who knows? We'll see. But solid chapter all the same. My Hero Academia 151. Oh boy. Oh man. Losing my headphones. I'm losing my headphones because this chapter's so good. Overhaul covering up his body so you can't see what he's doing, but actually taking off his gloves in that time and just ruining the battlefield. Like, just brought it to, I don't even know, debris everywhere. And then bringing you back together into the spikes. The reveal that Overhaul can bring Eri back so he doesn't care what happens to her. The shot of Mirio after he says, and she knows that firsthand. We get to see old Overhaul back when he was Chisaki on his own with a little, like, Yakuza mask on. Mirio uses his cape to dodge some shots like a boss. He's fighting both Overhaul and Kurono at the same time, doing very well. He makes one mistake, though. He calls Overhaul by his name, Chisaki. And Overhaul's like, I threw that name away a long time ago! Alright, Black Knight from Fire Emblem 9. Path of Radiance. But no, wait, that was Grail. Alright, I'm not allowed to make any more Fire Emblem references on the show because I'm getting them wrong. The point is, this is a mistake that you never want to do. You never want to remind the villain of where he's come from. Because when you do that, you remind him why he's made the choices he's made. And it just kind of refocuses Overhaul to where he noticed that Nemoto is coming to help him. And he throws the case with the quirk stopping bullets, the quirk nullifying rounds, to Nemoto, who raises the gun and is going to shoot Mirio. I'm assuming Eri's probably going to take that shot for him, because it seems like Mirio got through to her when he was talking about how he could be her hero. Because she's been wanting a hero for so long and just hasn't ever had one. At the same time, though, Mirio might die next chapter. If he gets shot right before Overhaul touches him, it's over. It's just over. He's dead. There's nothing left. I want to give a shout-out, though, to Nemoto, who is out cold for basically 10 minutes and holds on to his consciousness and struggles forward out of sheer loyalty for Overhaul. This is not a simple hero versus villain fight. These bad guys have a reason for what they're doing, and they're committed. Obviously, Rappa's, his loyalty was a little bit shakier, because it didn't seem like he really cared about Overhaul that much. But the rest of the guys really seemed to care, to the point where Kurono is like, "Fool, what'd you call me a fool for, boss?" This is going to be a problem for the heroes. Absolutely going to be a problem. Because these guys are refusing to go down. And Nemoto being there, able to take this shot, is the entire difference in this fight. And of course, Mirio left him behind because he was beaten. What do you have to worry about? It's done. But loyalty. Loyalty's so powerful. And it's something that gets forgotten so quickly when you're fighting enemies like this. So very much excited for next chapter. Calling it now. Eri's going to take the shot, or Mirio's going to die. I actually really think Mirio's going to die. Because his death would propel Deku in such a way that he almost has to die. Between Deku and Sun Eater, he really has to for the story to get where it's going. And maybe he doesn't die now. Maybe he doesn't have to die at all. Maybe All Might dies instead. I don't want that to happen. Please don't let that happen. Don't listen to me right now. Horikoshi. But still, there's options. But Mirio's death would absolutely aid in that character development. But I talked about that last week. You don't even hear me say that again. What you do want to hear me say, though, is the Promised Neverland, Chapter 53. Alright, okay. So this guy has been living here for 13 years, alone. This guy's great, by the way. Him standing up on the table and taking his steps across the table while talking about everything he's talking about, and then leaning down over the table to tell him that all his friends are dead, and then being like, "Oh, no, it's okay. But you gotta go. This food's mine. This home is mine. This place is mine. This water's mine. You gotta go. You gotta get out of here." And when they're like, "Well, come on," he tells them how he's really surprised they're not dead yet. He grabs Emma, and he holds her at gunpoint, and he's like, "Yeah, you guys that all just care about each other? That's the mistake. That's why you're weak. You got friends. It's too bad. You're going to die now." What he fails to realize is that he's not holding just anybody. These kids got where they are for a reason. He's holding Emma. And Emma is not the weakling he thinks she is. Emma is a survivor. Emma is the person who recognized that what this guy's saying is technically correct. That having these attachments and bringing all the kids with them is going to get them killed. And instead of getting depressed by it or going off on her own, she got stronger to compensate for that. And so this guy is in for a world of hurt next chapter. I think Emma is going to wreck this guy somehow. It's either going to be Emma or Ray. Or I guess it could be Don. Don's pretty quick too. Although there's also the option that, Gilda runs to try and save her and he shoots Gilda. Don't want that to happen. We've come a long way. Sorry, we've come a long way without anybody else dying. But it absolutely could happen. Good chapter, though. Really solid chapter. Food Wars 229. I love the fact that Erina's just sitting there like, I can't play cards with him, but I want to play cards with him. Momo walks in. She reveals that Tsukasa and Rindo are resting because they're beat. Saito has been abluting himself all night. And if you don't know what that term means, it means he's taking cold water, and for Hokkaido cold water, by the way, mountain cold water, and just pouring it over his head all night and all morning, basically, to rejuvenate himself. I really feel like this is going to come back to bite him. That maybe he's rejuvenated, but he's not rested. And as we find out later in the chapter, he's up against Soma, and that's a problem. Because Soma's crazy good at adapting. Soma will take a basic recipe and spice it up just the way that he thinks his customer would want him to. Because that's what his basis of cooking is. It's for the customer. It's to be enjoyed. It's not to look good. It's not to be tasty. It's to be enjoyed. And so, obviously, looking good and being tasty are part of that. But as long as it's enjoyable, that's what he focuses on. And that's what he doubles down on. And that's why he's come so far. Whereas Saito is all about precise cuts and making it, look perfect and getting it flavored perfectly. And I don't think he's going to have it when it comes down to a fight against Yukihira, especially with how tired he has to be. Momo also gives everybody nicknames, which, as we find out, reveals that she thinks they're inferior to her. And she, ends by giving Megumi a nickname, which causes her to get super nervous. But Arina wishes him good luck. And that seems to bring him right back up. The final matches, of course, come out to Saito versus Soma, as we talked about. Aizen versus Takumi, and this could be a really interesting fight. Takumi is in his own head a lot, contemplating and mixing around ideas. So this fight could be really interesting, because Aizen he's so angry. I can't wait to see this anger versus mental fortitude match. Because Takumi also has quite the temper, and it could be that, Takumi loses because he gives into his temper, or it could be that he wins because he overpowers Aizen's temper. It could go either way, honestly. Momo versus Megumi is the one I'm excited for. Because Momo, we haven't really got to see too much of her doing things. And Megumi has been the stereotypical nervous character for most of the series. She's come a long way from where she started. And that's only shown more in her flashback where she's remembering her training with Dojima, Joichiro, and Shinomiya. Shinomiya, the first person that Megumi ever had a battle with. The first person she ever had a Shokugeki with is training her. Yes, please. Can't wait. I can't wait. Good chapter. Black Clover 123. Asta finally gets through to Zerks. They decide to work together. He explains his magic. It's about exactly as you'd expect it to be. It's all about traps. He lays different kind of traps using his magic to be able to catch his opponents off guard. Kirsch finds out that Magna's a peasant and runs off on his own. It's like, what? I get where he's coming from there. It fits his character well enough, but it seems like for the sake of the win, or because he'd already fought alongside him, maybe he would have done things differently. That's okay, though, because Kirsch very quickly picks up the idiot ball this chapter, which bothers me as a fan of Kirsch. Honestly, it does. He relies on his magic too much for sensors. That's not the stupid part. That's actually really clever, to dig a physical pit trap to be able to catch him out like that. It's the fact that he falls for the trap at all, where Asta has clearly walked into this cave where, as Kirsch points out, he doesn't have a lot of room to use his sword. Why would he do that? Kirsch thinks it's just because he's being too stupid. Sorry, it's very hot in here today. The air conditioner's on the fritz. Kirsch decides it's just because he's being stupid and doesn't know any better because he's a dumb peasant. And then he does fall for the trap, and he falls into the bottom of the pit, and Asta covers it with his sword that Kirsch has already seen be anti-magical multiple times, and Kirsch still attacks, only for it to be countered on top of him. Okay, sure, I guess. Maybe Kirsch didn't care to watch Asta fight. Maybe Kirsch hasn't heard any of the rumors about the anti-magic kid. Maybe Kirsch wasn't paying attention when, during the previous ceremony, they actively called out what Asta's magic does when he's being recognized by the Magic Emperor. Magic King. Wizard King. That's it. I'm really, really annoyed by this, because it requires Kirsch to have not been listening, or not been watching, or not been paying attention so many times. Even in his own fight with Asta, where Asta sent all the magic away using his sword. Okay, sure. It was important to get Kirsch in the bottom of that hole, I guess. And it was important to get Kirsch to take himself out with his own magic. And it's possible he's not taken out yet. It's entirely possible, but I expect him to be. Very unfortunate, in my opinion. This was not the way I wanted this fight to turn out. I didn't expect Asta to lose, and the trap's a really clever trap. But why wouldn't he just have... why wouldn't Kirsch just attack the ground around him to try and escape, or try to send the cherry blossoms up around the sword. Because there's clear holes around there where air's coming through. Or just have Asta knock him out when he's in there because he didn't expect to fall in there. Having him take out his own magic and, like, use it against the anti-magic sword that he already knows is anti-magic just seems kind of dumb to me. I don't know. We'll move on. I didn't like this chapter that much at all. It felt like this conversation could have easily happened at the end of last chapter with the start, and this chapter could have been the plan going in. I don't know. Not important. We'll move on. Robot Laserbeam 23. Oh boy, we have Rion breaking his personal record, Takeshi swearing he's going to win next time, Gin beating Toma, Robo hitting the ball into the trees. He's reached his limit. He can't keep pushing himself like this. He is going to break. Suzaku's like, hey, I wouldn't take that shot. I couldn't take that shot. Just don't worry about it. I commend your effort. You done really well. Let's just call it here. You can't take that shot. And Robo can see the pin. And he has this one shot that he's practiced 1,000,000 times. Just a straight laser right through to the pin. And he takes it. It's literally, quite literally, a shot only he could do. As someone who's made that same shot thousands of times, only he could make that shot. And everybody's like, whoa! Robo's not proud of himself, though, because he's beat. He's got one more hole to go, and it's not going well. I'm sure, like, he's not going to be able to put up a great fight. However, the Wedge Wizard, Karasuma, comes up with 7 under par to Sajima's par. Sajima is not happy at all. Didn't expect this at all. The teams are tied. I actually really thought Aishi Academy was going to lose this round. That it was going to be a learning experience in loss. The fact that everybody else was able to fight so hard to try not to let Robo down is really cool. And now having Robo at the end of his ropes, I still kind of want them to lose, personally. Because I kind of want that to be a learning experience for Robo, to be like, hey, look, I should have been trying harder. I should be practicing more. I've got to commit to this. But at the same time, if they win, I'm not going to be too upset, because they really have put in a great fight for this. It's not just been the good guys won. No, it's been an actual, like, dedicated attempt. And Robo's been fighting hard. He's going at it. So we'll see how this final chapter of this match goes, because I expect it to all be resolved next chapter with who wins this match. Maybe one more, maybe 2 total, but this final hole is going to settle it all between Robo and Suzaku. So, yeah, great chapter. Great chapter. We Never Learned 29. So, remember how we just got back to the status quo? We didn't stay there long. I'm not against that, though. I enjoy stepping away from the status quo. And we are definitely away from it. Because Ogata is dreaming about kissing Yuiga. And so she does a Google search. She tries to research kissing. See if she can understand it. She doesn't. She takes Yuiga to a romance movie. And although he really enjoyed it, and Sekijo really enjoyed it from her seat 2 seats up, Ogata clearly doesn't get it. Ogata starts talking about how she had a dream of kissing, or about kissing, and Yuiga just spits all of his soda out. It's a really good scene. It's probably the best looking spit take I've ever seen. Yuiga tries to help her out. He does his best, but Ogata clearly doesn't understand. And at one point, Yuiga ends up picking up her cup on accident and taking a drink of it. They both realize it, and then they're both very embarrassed. And they both think about the accidental kiss from the trip. And Yuiga's like, haha, guess we should probably get going. And she's going, why does it bother me to think about that? And she goes, hey, Yuiga, maybe if we tried again, it wouldn't bother me so much. He's like, huh? And then she kisses him. There's a reason why Rizu Ogata is second best girl, and that's why. Yes! Yes! So, she then immediately runs away. She's around the corner. She's gone. But just the fact that she did it in the first place, the fact that she was willing to kiss him. Like, I expected this to be a chapter end, back to status quo again. I want every girl to get this step away from the status quo before we get back to it with Yuiga. This is great, because most series never go this far. They get close to it, they'd have this moment where they talk about it, and then it would just go back to normal. Ogata would be like, what if we tried again? And then when he turned around, she'd have her hand up or something, and she'd be like, I was just joking, even though that would be super out of character for her. And you'd be like, yeah, I guess so, And then we'd go back to status quo. No, we never learned. This is the second time we stepped away. It's the second time we stepped away for real. Not accidental, like, for real moments. And I'm so excited. I know we're going to go back to the status quo next week, probably. If not next week, then the week after. We're going to get back there, no doubt. But absolutely great. I love it when a series just turns your expectations on their head, I guess, and leads you down a different path than what you thought it was going to be. So great job. Great job. We never learned. Hunter x Hunter 370. Kurapika knows how to play the game of words. He is playing it well. The true game really honestly starts now with Berrigan dead and a hidden assassin, nobody trusting each other, Kurapika trying to teach Nen while not letting too much on or getting killed. This is Hunter x Hunter. This is what it's supposed to be. This is a chapter of a bunch of new characters that all have their own reasons for being there, with a character that we know and a character that we love, and a really bad situation. There's a hidden assassin, and everything's going downhill fast. This is Hunter x Hunter. This is the kind of stuff that we love to see from Hunter x Hunter. It's the stuff we wait for. And speaking of waiting, we're going back to waiting, because Hunter x Hunter is going back on hiatus. I get it. I understand. I'm not mad. Togashi's health has to come first. Absolutely. I just wish we didn't get strung out like this. I wish we could get, like, Togashi take a year break and then write for a year, which I know seems ridiculous because that's not how that works at all. But maybe have Togashi write for 3 months, and then a break for 3 months, and then a write for 3 months, and then a break for 3 months. Togashi's saying that they'll be back, or that he'll be back by the end of the year, that he wants to come back by the end of the year. But obviously, you don't really get to choose with your health. It's something that is, itself. It's on its own. Your health is its own entity that you have to constantly fight with and bicker with and work around. So, I will read it every week because I don't have a choice. But For Neverworld put out a really good video about the hiatus, where he was talking about how if you're not reading week to week right now and you're thinking about reading Hunter x Hunter, you should just wait. You should go through like 2 more hiatuses and then get caught up. Or if you're reading it week to week, and now obviously you have time, when it does come back, just wait. Don't put yourself through it. Just wait. We have timestamps on this video if you like watching me. It's going to be on all these, like always. If you like watching me, you can skip the Hunter x Hunter section if you're not reading it week to week. When it comes back, if you want to read it week to week and be stuck in this with me, let's do it. Let's go. Let's work our way through. But hiatus is back. And it's probably going to be gone for a little while. I actually don't expect it to come back till next year. So, just like with Seraph at the End, taking a month off and wondering what's going to be there, Hunter x Hunter's going to be gone for a little while. We're going to be getting something else in there. And I'm pretty sure I know what it is, because next up is the thing I was so hyped for when I saw it, and I'm so glad this didn't get spoiled for me. Rurouni Kenshin, the Hokkaido arc. I love Kenshin. I loved Kenshin for a long time. Kenshin is great. I wasn't a huge fan of how the animated movies ended everything. The side stories and stuff, where Kenshin leaves and everything. This, however, is right up my alley. We've got some new characters in the form of Aran and Ashitaro, and Asahi. A lot of A's. I didn't even notice that until I just pointed that out. We've got Yahiko's older. We've got Aran being into Western civilization and how he's trying to get ahead by not training. It looks like he's kind of going to be the new Yahiko, but in a really cool way because he is a different character. I love the direction Yahiko's been taking him, by the way. He's great in this chapter. You also get to see Kenshin. It was like a breath of fresh air seeing Kenshin again. He is great. He's got a cane now that looks like a sword, so that he can still hold a sword in his hands. And of course, Yahiko has the Sakamoto. He gave it to him at the end of the original anime. Kenshin looks so good. And then you get that flashback panel of Kaoru and Kenshin and Kenji with all the things that happen behind it. And it's got Aoshi, it's got Saito, and it's got Shishio, and it's got the Oniwaban group. It's like, yes! Yes! That is perfect! Loved it so much. You've got... Man, I don't even know where to start with this chapter. All the reveals with Ashitaro and Asahi, how they used to be members of the Shishio faction, how Asahi actually owes this great debt because she's basically a slave for hire, mercenary, I guess, except she doesn't have a choice, so yeah, still a slave. How she gathered up the money, and of course they tricked her, and it wasn't the actual amount that they required from her. Ashitaro taking the first hit, and not taking the second hit and fighting back. The fact that Ashitaro takes the second hit at all because he can't read, and we'd already found that out early in the chapter. So when he says, I don't know, if she says it's 200, it's 200, and you're like, oh my gosh, he can't read. And everybody else is like, why is he on her side? And he gets smacked around a little bit. Him going crazy because he's giving into his anger because he used to be a member of the Shishio faction, which means that's what he was taught to do. Getting stopped by Kenshin. Kenshin's cane sword being taken out by Mugenjin, which Ashitaro has, and then Kenshin having to use the Sakamoto again and taking him down. Just, oh man. When Kenshin took Hichen Mitsurugi Ryu, I could hear it in my head from the old anime. And using the Double Dragon, just taking him down. Ashitaro waking up and being told he's not allowed to draw Mugenjin until he can control it. Asahi joining the dojo and everything going on with Aran's going to teach him how to read. Now Ashitaro's like, I don't know how to read. That doesn't fill my belly. It's like, well, it would have been really useful to you, so maybe you should learn. And then to top it all off, as if this wasn't already a great intro chapter, the stuff about Kaoru's dad. You get this wonderful moment of Kenshin trying to figure out why would somebody who's supposed to have been dead from a battle in the middle of the war be in Hokkaido right now? What's going on there? And then he looks up and he sees Kaoru crying because she's so happy that her father's alive. And he immediately is like, the investigation can wait. Kaoru, we gotta go. We gotta go find your dad. We gotta go find him right now. And she's like, yeah, I can't wait for him to meet you and Kenji. And it's just like, oh man. Because normally you expect the reaction of, where's he been? But no, she thought her dad was dead this whole time and she just found out he was alive. Of course she's excited. Of course she's crying. She's got a son. She's got a husband. And they're both great. And she wants to introduce them to her dad. We get to see Saito again, who's currently in Hokkaido, bringing everybody together. The only person we don't really get to see is Sanosuke and Aoshi. Sano, we get to see his picture on a sign where he's told, the sign says not to give him any credit because he's not going to pay it back. He fled to America. And that's a great way to not have him here at the start of the story where he'd be too strong and to be able to bring him back later. I think also not showing Aoshi was a great touch because as much as I love Aoshi, he doesn't need to be around for the start of this story. We need these two new characters and new older Yahiko to be able to get some ground before the other characters swoop back in. And I'm not against Sano and Aoshi coming back. I think they absolutely should. But maybe the midpoint or early midpoint of the story. But for now, we need to focus on these new characters. They need to get better. They need to have life or death battles. They need to be able to improve. And I think under Kenshin and Yahiko's teachings, they'll be able to do that. So that when later on Aoshi or Sano does show up and teaches them some things, it's a new way to use the things they've already learned. So very much excited for this. Can't wait to see more of Kenshin Hokkaido arc. I'm so glad it's here. Seeing Kenshin and Kaoru happy with Kenji is just like right here, right in my heart. Makes me so happy. I need this in my life every week, and hopefully I get that. So, we will commence with the Blitz round, though. The lightning fast lightning round of Too Long Didn't Watch, Too Long Didn't Listen. Dr. Stone 25, great chapter. The lightning was a nice touch. With the light bulb effect was a nice touch. Loved it. Really good chapter. One Piece 877, absolutely great chapter. Great heroic sacrifice. Wonderful. 2 thumbs up. Seraph of the N61, man, this fight was good. This fight was real good. Farad was great. 2 thumbs up. My Hero Academia 151, yes. 2 thumbs up. Yes. Mirio's probably died next week. Just calling it now. He's probably dead next week. Promised Neverland 53, really, really good setup chapter. Emma getting caught at the end was a good surprise. Really loved it. 1 thumb up for sure. The only thing I would have liked more was maybe finding out this guy's name, since we don't even know it yet. And there's a really good shot of him standing in the woods with a knife. I don't know what's going on there. Come on, give me some backstory. Maybe flashback chapter. Would like that. Food Wars 29, 229. Yes! 2 thumbs up. Really good chapter. Again, setup, but it gave us a good setup for what's going on with Megumi and the match and the cards. And Shinomiya! Black Clover 123. No thumbs up, no thumbs down. This was a perfectly... Actually, you know what? No. 1 thumbs down. The idiot ball thing with Curse where he attacks himself using the animagic sword, basically. 1 thumbs down. I didn't like that at all. He should have known better. Because everybody knows about Asta at this point. People keep going, you're that kid with the anti-magic sword. You must be. It's like, yeah, no, everybody knows him at this point. 1 thumbs down. I'm sorry. I love Black Clover for the most part, but 1 thumbs down. Robot Laserbeam 23. 1 thumb up. Really good chapter. Really solid. I enjoyed it quite a bit. There were some moments where I would like a little bit more backstory on some of these characters, but not like full backstory, but on their sets, on the different holes where they were able to get these great scores. Because it feels a little weird going from, they're doing okay, to boom, here they go, they're great. Granted, these are like professional high school players, but still, would have liked to see a little bit more of the Rion beating his record and the Wedge Wizard Karasuma coming through, you know. So yeah, 1 thumb up. Good chapter. We Never Learned 29, 2 thumbs up, taking it away from the status quo. Kiss on the lips. Ogata scoring a point. 2 thumbs up. Hunter x Hunter 370, 2 thumbs up. I know this is the last Hunter x Hunter chapter we're getting for a while, but it felt so much like old school Hunter x Hunter that I have to give it 2 thumbs up. I can't not. So good to see the mind games coming back and everything going on. It's going to be really disorienting in like 5 months when it comes back, and I've forgotten who all these characters are. Except for Kurapika. Maybe Bear again. I feel like that name's going to stick with me even though he's dead. Rurouni Kenshin Hokkaido arc. 2 thumbs up. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Such a good return to Kenshin in a way that I didn't expect to get. In a way that I never saw coming. I guess I missed the news where this was coming back, and I'm so happy I did because it was such a good surprise. So, 2 thumbs up for sure. This has been another episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown. My name is Trey. We'll be back next week with another one. If you have any comments, put them in the comment section below. Send us an email at thefullspectrumpodcast@gmail.com or just drop a comment on our website at thefullspectrumpodcast.com. Yes, fullspectrumpodcast.com. So, again, we'll be back next week with another exciting episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Jump has to offer.